Hey guys, we got exercise 8 here, and this is one interpretation of the solution. What we're basically asked to have is two decision statements and two loops, and we're writing a program that's going to walk us through doing our laundry. So I've declared variables here, so you can check that out. You don't need to have this in the pseudocode, I don't think. Anyway, we've got start, we've got an output. If the hamper's full, we put 1. If it's not, we put 0. I've just got a validation here, this while loop. And so if you type in a letter, it's not going to let you do that. Typically, these two lines will take care of that, but I found with another program, it wasn't working just with these two lines. Strange, I don't know why still, but putting this in here, because I had an if-else statement, and putting this in there fixed the problem for some reason. And I don't know why, but you don't necessarily have to have this validation here, but that's up to you. If the hamper, if you put in 0 for it, so let's just go down and take care of that real fast. So if it's 1, but else if it's 0, your laundry is clean and we end, because there's no need to do the laundry. But let's go in and say we do have one full hamper of dirty laundry. Then Boolean is true, dirty. Output, how many loads? Now we're going to check for loads, because you might want to separate your white clothes from your color clothes, because you don't want to stain those brand new white t-shirts. And we've got another validation here. In a later video, I'll probably have all of these declared outside of the main function, and we'll call this, but that's not the way I've done it in this one, unfortunately, but we'll get to that. Let's see, so if loads is 2, separate loads, the Boolean changes to true, wash is 2. This for loop is just checking for how many scoops of detergent we're going through. So they're going to start at 0. They're not going to exceed 5 up here. And we're going to increment by 1. And it's going to output scoop number and whatever scoop number we're on. Dry is 2. Same with dry time. We're incrementing dry time by 5 though, because we don't want to go through like 20 lines. It's just taking up too much space. And then we output sort of the same idea. So if the loads are not equal to 2 and they're 1, then separate loads is false. Wash is equal to 1. We do the same looping for washing and drying, and then it's going to output you did however many loads, and then it's going to say how many wash cycles and how many dry cycles, and you're all done. And we've already taken care of that. So if you say you don't have a full hamper, then your laundry's clean. So this is kind of how the flowchart is going to look, or at least the way I've set the flowchart up for that pseudocode. So start, output, input. We've got this validation here. You don't have to have that really. And then we've got full hamper. So we're checking to see, is our laundry dirty? And so we're going to go through this. You can see how if we don't have a full hamper, then we just go right to the end because our laundry's already clean. But let's kind of scroll back up here. We've got input loads, another validation that you don't really have to have unless you want to. If it's 2 loads, if that's true, we're going to go off in this direction. We've got our for loop. Check all that out. Separate loads equal to true. It kind of matches the pseudocode on the other page. We've got our dry cycle now. We're going to do our for loop for our dry cycle. And if loads equal to true is false, so we've got 1 load. It's basically the same thing except for wash is 1, dry is 1, and then we have an output statement you did, and it kind of gives us our results. And then it stops. So this one's a little bit more complex, but if you take out all this, like this validation here and this one here, then you don't, you don't have as much, but it's not too difficult there. And let's go back to the pseudocode. So this is probably a little bit more complicated than they might want, but I think does the trick, and you can modify this any which way you want. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.